Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. So sabi dito, kung sa isang business, kung alam mo na ang ginagawa mo, kung ano na yung napagplanuhan mo lahat ng dapat na gawin, ay wala nang magiging risk ito.
So ano nga ba tong Pareto's Principle or saan ba siya nagmula? So sabi dito, the Pareto's Principle is named after an Italian economist, Vilfredo Pareto, who in 1906 observed his country Italy and found out that 80% of its land was owned by only 20% of the people. Ano nga ba ang 80-20 rule o Pareto's Principle? So the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto's Principle, is familiar that asserts that 80% of outcomes or yung output nito nagre-resulta lang ng 20% ng causes or inputs na for any given event. So in business, goal of the 80-20 rule is to identify inputs that are potentially the most productive and make them the priority. For instance, once manager identify factors that are critical to their company's success, they should give those factors the most focus. So, sinasabi dito na pagpopokusan nila kung ano yung pinakapatok o kung ano pinakamabili. So, for example, gawin natin is damit. So, example, itong damit na to, mas mabili to kaysa sa ibang ni-release na version ng halimbawa bench na lang kung tawagin natin. So, pagpopokusan ng bench, no, itong paglabas ng damit nila na to. So, unlike sa mga hindi masyadong magalaw, so mas bibigyan nila ng maraming stocks or mas pupukusan nga nila na maglabas ng mas maraming stocks nito kasi itong product na to yung pinakamabilis sa nila. Although the 80-20 rule is frequently used in business or economics, you can apply the concept to any field, gaya ng wealth distribution, personal finance, spending habits, and infidelity in personal relationships can all be subject of the 80-20 rule. So, ang key takeaways natin dito sa 80-20 rule is the 80-20 rule maintains that 80% of outcomes comes from 20% of causes. So, mayroon tayong mga example dito na halimbawa 20% ng workers nagpo-produce ng 80% na resulta. Pwede ding 20% ng customers nagki-create ng 80% na revenue. 20% na product na account, nagre-release ng 80% na of sales ng kung anong company nito. So, marami pang iba. Pwede natin din pwede din siya yung tool sa krimen. So, 80% ng krimen, pwede magawa ng 20 ng kriminal. Pwede din sa mga pagkakaibigan naman. So, 80% ng kasiyahan mo, nabibigyan ng 20% o 20 kaibigan mo. So, kahit saan, pwede natin i-apply itong Pareto's Principle. Hindi lang sa business, pero mostly, mas applicable ito sa business or economics na tinatag ng Pareto's Principle.
The study extended and found out that the 80-20 thing also transpire in other countries. So, hindi lang pala nangyari yung Pareto Principle sa bansang Italy. Naggagamit din to sa ibang bansa. Furthermore, the Pareto Principle, now mostly called as the 80-20 rule, does not imply on land ownership only. It can actually be seen in many aspects of society, business, and life in general. So, hindi lang sa land ownership pala na i-apply yung 80-20 rule. Nagagamit din to sa iba't ibang aspeto tulad nga society, business, and life in general. 80-20 rule application in business. 20% of the workers produce 80% of the result. 20% of the customers create 80% of the revenue. 20% of the product accounts for 80% of the sales. So pinapakita lang dito na yung 20% ng bawat input mo is 80% na magiging output mo, which is yun nga yung 80-20 rule.
80-20 rule application within the society. 20% of criminals commit 80% of crimes. 20% of beer drinkers drink 80% of beer in the world. 80% of the factories' pollution originate from 20% of all factories. 20% of students have grade 80% of higher. 80-20 rule application. Life in general. 20% of an average person activity is the reason for 80% of his progress. 80% of happiness brought about by friendship actually comes from 20% of your friends only. Patero's principle analogy: 20% input produces 80% output. 20% input is called vital few. And how about the other 80%? The same is also true on the other side. 80% input produces 20% output. The 80% input is called trivial many.
What does the Pareto's principle wants to indicate? Pareto's principle. What does it indicates? It simply indicates that the most things in life are not equally distributed, leading to facts that 80-20 rule implies that in any given situation, 80% of the effects is produced by 20% of the causes. So, 80% daw ng mga resulta ay gawa ng 20% na mga pangyayari. So, it is always 80-20. So, sagot ay no. It could be actually be a lot less steeper. It could be 85 or 85-15, 90-10, 93-7. It can also be a bit smaller, 70-30 or 74-26. It is always 100 when added. Sagot ay no. It could be also be 85-20, 74-10 or 91-32. So, why it is being called the 80-20 rule? Bakit daw tinawag na 80-20 rule kahit di naman to be exact 100 pag pinag-add? So, the 80-20 thing in relation to its nowadays application should not be treated as exact identities but rather a symbolic number. Meaning, no matter what the ratios are, the bottom line is it leads us to the certainty that the minority of the causes produces the majority of the effects. Maliit na mga pangyayari pwede mag-cause ng malalaking effects. Same as on the other side, or vice versa, the majority of the causes produces the minority of the effects. This reaches us to focus on more important aspects of life, the vital few, making us to do more by doing less. So, take note dun, do more by doing less.
How can Pareto principle be applied in business? So, let's proceed. In business, to increase revenue, you could try to increase sales. The more you sell, the more profits you should make. Negotiate better deals with your supplier. Cut excess overhead. Companies often retrench staff to do so. Increase prices. If you can sell the same amount of goods at higher prices, you will make more profit, and so on. But there is a lot of ways to increase revenue. In short, eliminate the waste and improve the process, which is Lean Six Sigma. The question now is, can a company do all these things simultaneously? No. Bakit? Because in business, you generally don't have the resources, time, energy, and manage to focus to do every at once. So, sa madaling salita, hindi naman talaga kayang pagsabay-sabayin sila. So, the Pareto principle teaches us that not everything is equally important. What we should do is identify those actions, the vital few that will result in the biggest increase in profits, then focus on it first. So, dito, i-identify natin kung ano yung pinaka-vital few at yun yung pagbibigyan natin ng focus. Not using 80-20 wisely may cause the business to prioritize the least important, which is definitely not the constitute a leap forward. So we have here many department of business model: customer segment, customer relationship, channels, value proposition, key activities, key partners, key resources, cost structure, revenue streams. So possible yung sinasabi nating ways, nangyayari siya dito simultaneously or sabay-sabay. So pwede pa natin siya i-solve ng sabay-sabay? Siyempre no. So dito papasok si Pareto principle na identify natin yung pinaka-vital point niya, and itatry natin na doon magpo-focus sa pinaka-vital point na yun.
So, bakit mahalaga magkaroon ng Pareto's chart sa isang business? So, dito, kagaya nito, sa Pareto's chart of the average share of the complaints causes. So, kunyari sa isang business, hindi talaga mawawala ang mga complaints ng mga customer natin. Kunyari, kung yung business mo ay nagde-deliver, ano ba ang, kunyari, medyo matagal ang deliver, o kaya yung mga dinideliver ay sira. So, kung madaming customer ang nagrereklamo doon makikita mo pa lang na dapat ay nauna mo resolbahin sa isang business. So, isa pa sa mga dahilan bakit mahalaga ang magkaroon ng Pareto's chart. So, dito makikita mo yung mga kung ano mas mabenta. Kunyari sa sapatos, kung mas mabenta ang Nike sa Adidas, syempre mas magi-stock ka ng mga Nike na sapatos, di ba? So, pababayan kung mas mataas naman ang benta mo kaysa Adidas, kaysa sa Puma, so syempre mas dadagdagan mo din ang stock mo sa Adidas. So, ganun lang yan. Kung ano ang pinakamadaming sale, dapat ay yung tinututuan na stock o kaya ini-improve mo pa para mas tangkilikin ng mga tao. Yung mga nasa ibaba naman na hindi tinatangkilik, makikita mo din ito kung ano ba ang dapat gawin para mas natangkilikin o bilhin din ito ng mga customer.
How can Pareto principle be applied on our daily lives? Social interaction. In social interactions, this principle can be applied to enhance the quality of relationships, improve communication, and make socializing more meaningful. Here how it can manifest in daily life. Focus on key relationships. Sa key relationships, isa to sa pinaka nagko-contribute para maging successful ka na entrepreneur. Kasi nga, dito nakapaloob kung paano ka makikitungo sa ibang tao. Tapos effective communication. Dito naman yung mga active listening, providing feedback, tsaka emotional intelligence. Mga example lang yun. Tapos dito naman sa managing social media, dito yung pagpili mo ng platform na angkop sa brand mo. Tapos dito din yung mga paggawa mo ng schedule for the whole week. Tapos social energy conservation, dito naman yung pag-conserve mo ng energy mo sa mga mas mahalagang bagay. Tapos networking and influence, dito yung magtatanong-tanong ka ng mga gusto ng mga tao, mga ayaw nila. Tapos yun yung gagawin mo ng paraan.
So next is relationships. When applied to relationships, this principle can help focus on the key aspects that bring the most value to your connections with others. Here's how it could be useful in daily life. Meron tayong quality over quantity, effort versus reward in a relationship, conflict resolution, and setting boundaries. Is day-to-day usual activities. This concept can be applied to improve productivity, focus, and decision making by identifying and prioritizing the most impact actions. Here are some ways to apply the Pareto's principle to day-to-day activities. So, unang-una natin, meron tayong time management. So, importante ang time management sa ating pang-araw-araw. Kung ikaw may trabaho ng 7, gigising ka ng 8, so, wala na, palpak na yung trabaho mo. Or, kung mag-open ka ng business ng 7, magigising ka ng 8, ganun. So, medyo sayang din yun. May kita din sa oras na yun. Next natin is health and fitness. So, hindi lang puro trabaho. Ka din, no? Health and fitness ka din. So, kailangan din physically fit para hindi lang yung bulsa yung healthy, pati yung ating pangatawan. So, next natin is learning and skill improve and development. So, okay dito is matututo ka at may enhance mo yung skills. Nung sa gayon, hindi ka lang mag-i-stuck sa isang lugar. So, pwede kang, pagka enhance masyado yung skill mo, pwede kang magpa-upgrade ng business kasi skilled person ka na. And lastly is personal development and habits. Yung personal development is, ito nga parang lang yan, parang skill development. Ito naman, i-apply mo naman sa sarili mo kung paano ka mag-step up sa dating ikaw, ganun.
What is SWOT analysis? SWOT analysis is a strategic tool used by business to evaluate their internal and external environments. It stands for strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. By conducting the SWOT analysis, companies gain a clearer understanding of their position in the market and can formulate strategies for success. A SWOT analysis is a strategic planning tool used by business and organizations to identify and evaluate their strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This framework provides a Structure approach to assessing both internal and external factors that can impact the organization's success. Aims of SWOT analysis. Number 1. Assess competitive position. Helps evaluate how a business stack up against competitors by analyzing strengths and weaknesses. Number 2. Strategic planning. Guides the creation of strategies that align with strengths and opportunities while addressing weaknesses and threats. Number 3. Risk management. Identify potential external threats allowing for proactive measure to mitigate the risk. Number 4. Operational improvement. Pinpoint internal weaknesses helping to optimize process and enhance efficiency.
Ito yung SWOT analysis namin. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threat. And ito naman yung SWOT analysis nung business namin, which is yung Kababayan Bakery. Ito yung mga strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. Ang strengths ng Kababayan Bakery ay effective cost management, strong relationships with local suppliers, prime location with high foot traffic. Weaknesses naman is short shelf life of some products, limited delivery options, inconsistent branding across different products. Dito naman sa opportunities is yung growing demand for special baked goods, collaborations with local coffee shops, expansion into online sales and delivery, increasing health-conscious consumer base. Threats: intense competition from established bakeries, fluctuation ingredients cost, health trend fluctuations impacting demand, and potential supply chain disruptions.
Benefits of SWOT analysis. Number 1, informed strategic planning. It provides insights for effective strategy formulation. Number 2, identifying competitive advantage. It pinpoints unique strengths for market differentiation. Number 3, mitigating risk. Recognition threats to develop risk management strategies. Number 4, fostering innovation and growth. It encourages exploration of new markets and products. Number 5, enhancing decision making. It supports clear, informed decision. Number 6, boosting operation efficiency. Identifies areas para ma-process yung mga improvements. Number 7, guiding marketing strategies. So, it helps crafts targeted marketing approaches. Number 8, building a long-term vision. So, it aligns strengths with opportunities for future goals.